Hi everyone, my name's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my bag collection and where it stands in the beginning of 2024. I recently did a little bit of a wardrobe declutter and I went through my bags and decided on the 5 least used bags in my collection to sell on. So my collection is looking a little bit smaller than it once was, but I'm really happy with all of the bags that I own now. They're all bags that I love and I rotate through on a regular basis. The first bag that I want to talk about is my Suzan Claude bag. This was a purchase I made about 6 months ago now and I have not looked back since. It is one of my favourite bags in my collection now, and since my declutter, it's one of the only smaller bags that I still own. I'm definitely preferring slightly larger bags these days. Not that I have that much to carry around, I predominantly just like the look of a slightly larger bag, but this bag is the exception to that rule. I love to wear this crossbody. I think it looks incredible crossbody with a big winter coat. I think this croc texture is really in its element in the winter time, and I've been wearing this so much over the last few months as a result of that. It's a really hard wearing bag, so if you are scared of the smooth leather bags from Sézane, you're gonna love this one because you can't scratch it, you can't dent it. Mine is still in absolutely pristine condition, despite the fact that I've worn this probably 3 or 4 times a week since I bought it. The only thing on this bag that does show signs of wear is the clasp. It's very shiny, it's very mirrored, as you can see. So inevitably it does pick up a few scratches, especially around the edges of the clasp. But other than that, the bag is in pristine condition. I absolutely love it. It's a smaller bag for sure, but it does still fit my phone in it, and I have one of the largest phones that you can buy. It's the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you own any kind of phone that's that size or smaller, it's going to fit in this bag just fine. That is one of my conditions of a smaller bag. It really does need to fit my phone in it. I know I watch so many of these videos, and in the past few years people have had that requirement too, and I've noticed recently that more and more people are letting that slide because they say that they always have their phone in their hand or in their pocket, but I still like to be able to fit my phone in my bag. There's definitely a time and a place for it. So yes, that is one of my requirements, and this ticks that box for me. The other thing I love about this bag is it does have an adjustable strap. So many smaller crossbody bags don't come with an adjustable strap, and that is sometimes the reason that I don't buy them or I sell them on. But this one can be adjusted just like the bigger bags, like the classic Milo from Suzan can. So you can wear this at, I think it's 3 different heights. So you can wear it on one shoulder as a slightly longer shoulder bag. It's not like a crook of the arm shoulder bag, but it can definitely be worn quite nicely on one shoulder, or you can put it on one of the longer lengths and wear it crossbody. One of the things I love about this bag is the texture to it. It does make it hard wearing. It also adds so much life, so much fun to otherwise quite simple outfits, and this is definitely my go-to when I'm wearing something really plain. Maybe I'm wearing a lot of wool textures, a lot of cotton textures, which we tend to do in the winter time. We tend to wear a lot of these thick, fluffy, woolly textures. This adds something quite different because of the croc and also because of the shine. It's almost like a patent leather. Well, it is a patent leather, so it adds that shine and that kind of luminescence as well, which I really love. Going from a winter bag to a definite summer bag now, this is my Levo basket bag. This is so big that it may struggle to fit in frame. It is one of the larger sizes that they do. I don't actually know the size of this bag because I bought it pre-loved. I think it must be the large though, or it might even be from the men's collection because it is on the larger side. Either way, that's one of the things I love and hate about it. It is such a good catch-all bag in the summer. If I'm going anywhere where I require a towel, a picnic blanket, a picnic, a really big water bottle, whatever it might be, then this is my bag for that in the summer. It fits everything and the kitchen sink in it, and I do love it for that. One of the disadvantages to this bag being so big, and because it is a straw bag, so it is quite rigid, you can't kind of compress it down, it is quite difficult to travel with. And this being a basket bag, I love to bring this on holiday. I think it shines when you're anywhere near a beach, and so because of that, it's a little bit tricky. I have used this as a hand luggage bag. I used this last year when we went to Menorca, and I just about got away with it as my hand luggage bag, but it isn't the most practical hand luggage bag because it is so open. First of all, there's no security in there, and also it's quite difficult to shove under the seat, especially if you're flying EasyJet or any airline like that where you don't get a lot of room. So that is something to bear in mind. I almost wish I had a slightly smaller size in this, still big enough that I could fit a towel or a blanket in it, but maybe the size down from this one. I bought it on Vinted actually. I definitely recommend looking on Vinted. I know a lot of people go to eBay and predominantly places like Vestiaire Collective, but Vinted is a bit of a hidden gem in the UK and in the EU, I think, because there are loads of designer bags on there, and it's somewhere that people go to less, I think, for designer bags. And they have recently introduced an authenticity guarantee service, so they will authenticate it for you if you want to. I think it's an additional fee, but it isn't that expensive, so I would definitely recommend looking, because I got this for £300 on Vinted, when this size of Levo basket bag, I mean, I think they start at about £450 new, but I imagine a bigger size like this might be more of the £500 to £550 mark. So it was a good saving. It came with all of its leaflets and dust bag and everything like that. It pretty much had never been worn, and it's still holding up really well. I was a little bit worried about investing in a straw bag that was more expensive, because I didn't know how it would last, and I don't think it's going to last forever. I can already see, I've had this for a year, I wore it all last summer, I can already see some fraying on the straw, a little bit on the bottom as well, but you know, I think it's going to last for many more years to come if I do take care of it. So yes, no regrets here, love it, it's so useful. It has its drawbacks for sure, and I do think it is a very classic style. It's my only designer bag that has a logo on it, or really any obvious branding, but because it is the anagram Levo logo, and because it is embossed rather than printed, it's still a very subtle logo. And I feel like, being Levo, it is an upcoming brand, more people do know about it now, but it is still slightly, if you know, you know. If you know bags, you love fashion, then yes, you're going to instantly recognize this bag, but a lot of people won't instantly recognize this bag, and I really appreciate that about it. The next bag in my collection is my curated classic shoulder bag. This needs no introduction. I wear this all the time. I love this bag. This was definitely my introduction to shoulder bags of this style. It has the shoulder length strap, and it fits really nicely on the shoulder, I have to say. This does come with a longer strap as well, so you can wear it crossbody. I do have to admit, I kind of hate the fact that the straps are separate. That's my main negative about this bag, and why, if I was going to look again for a bag like this, I may consider some bags from other brands that are quite similar. Think the Suzan Classic Milo. Think there's brands like APC and Sir Paris that do very similar bags to this. Obviously, it's quite reminiscent of the Seline box bag as well, but I do much prefer the idea of it being one strap that is adjustable to different lengths, rather than two completely separate straps, because I don't even know where my long strap for this is at the moment. I've probably lost it, or it's in storage somewhere. It's just a little bit of a faff. You're never going to bring a separate strap with you out and about, which means you can't change the length of it. You can't change it from shoulder to crossbody if you suddenly need to be hands-free while you're out and about. So that's the one negative about this, but other than that, I really like it. I love the Curated as a brand. I love that there's no branding, there's no obvious logos. It's very subtle, it's very quite luxury, but it's still really lovely in its quality and its design. The one other thing I'm not a massive fan of about this bag is the clasp here. It's a subtle detail, but it's not my favourite looks-wise. I don't know why, I just think it's a little bit boring and a little bit small for the size of the bag. I feel like it looks slightly disproportionate. I also don't love the way it opens. Because it opens like this, you lift it down like that, and then you can open the flap, which is fine, it's easy to do, but I feel like because you have to grab this like this, you almost inevitably end up scratching the leather around the clasp, and I have done that quite a lot. You can actually see quite a few scratches around this particular area, whereas on some of the other bags that are like this, you push the clasp like this instead, like the Suzan one, to open it. So you don't have that issue of digging your nails into the leather. So that, I think, is one of the negatives about the design of this particular bag. Other than that, I love it. I love to wear it on the shoulder. That's definitely my preferred way to wear a bag of this size. When it comes to crossbody bags, I like them to be a little bit smaller, like the Suzan Claude bag, but a bag like this I think is so chic, so perfect to wear on one shoulder. Next up, we have perhaps my most beloved bag in my collection. This is my Celine Leandra bag, As you can see, it's a very slouchy hobo style shoulder bag, so on trend at the moment, but I bought this last spring on a website called Cadoni, and unfortunately they no longer exist now, but at the time I found it for an absolute bargain. And the story behind this bag is that I was on the hunt for the Seline Romy bag, which, if you know that bag, it looks very similar to this, but it's more rectangular in terms of circular in its shape. And I was after that bag, but even pre-loved, they still retail for probably over £2,000, and I just wasn't willing to pay that price. And then I stumbled across this, which I think was like an original version that they discontinued. I believe it was part of the spring 2021 collection, and then it very quickly got discontinued. I think probably because the Romy was more popular. But this one on Cadoni was under £1,000, and it was unworn. It had tags, it had the dust bag, and I couldn't believe my luck considering how big it is as well. It's a big Seline bag. It's a lot of leather. It has really beautiful gold hardware. The branding on this bag is really subtle, as you would expect from a Seline. It's just got Seline on the gold hardware, and then it does have like the tiniest Seline printed logo just on the top of the bag below the zip there. So yes, it's very much if you know, you know. And I'm even more excited about this bag because I recently saw that Seline released a new hobo bag as part of their spring 24 collection that looks very similar to this. It just has the Triomphe logo in leather on the side of the bag. I think it's called the Eloise bag, and a lot of people I've noticed have that bag on their wish list now, and I feel like I was kind of ahead of the trend buying this older version for a much more affordable price. I've also seen bags very similar to this design on the Row and also on Kate as well, so again I feel like I got a little bit of a bargain, and this just feels such luxurious leather, so beautifully crafted. It has lovely contrast stitching all along it, which I'm always a sucker for. I love the shade of brown, how warm it is. I really just love everything about this bag. A bag brand I don't think gets enough attention is Bembian. This is my Bembian Ella bag in the vintage check print. This is a woven leather bag, so if you like Bottega Veneta but you don't like the price point, their specialty woven leather, then you may want to look at Bembian instead. They're a New York based brand and they specialise in this woven leather design. They have a few different options, styles, sizes, colours, patterns on their website, but yes, I just fell in love with the vintage feel of this one. It feels very 60s to me, very 70s, very Jane Birkin-esque, and I love that it is leather rather than raffia or straw, so it is definitely more durable than your traditional straw bag. I've had this for twice as long as I've had my Levo basket bag, and there is no wear to this bag, so it's definitely going to hold up for a lot longer than that raffia bag, but it still has that very summery vibe to it, so this is definitely a summer bag for me. And unlike the Loewe bag, it is very easy to travel with. I can pack this in my suitcase and it goes almost completely flat, so yes, that's definitely a perk to it as well. It's great to bring on holiday with you. I think it looks so beautiful on holiday with a white dress or a black dress and some brown sandals. I think it's the perfect vibe for that kind of situation, and I love to use it in the UK in the summertime as well. It's a really nice size. You can fit quite a lot in it, but it isn't too big and too awkward to wear. Again, it is a shoulder bag. The drop on the strap is really nice, really comfortable. I don't have enough good things to say about Bembian. I would definitely be interested in adding another Bembian bag to my collection in the future. They're very similar to Dragon Diffusion as well, if you've heard of that bag brand, and slightly cheaper than Dragon Diffusion. I think this one I paid about €200 for. It is quite difficult to get hold of them in the UK and in Europe. I found this on Smallable, which I think is a French website, but because they are a New York based brand, if you are US based, you're going to find it a lot easier because you can shop directly from their website. We're getting towards the end now, but next up is one of my favourite bags in my collection and one of the most recent additions, probably the most recent addition. I bought this at the beginning of December last year, so I've had it for just a few months, but it has quickly shot up to being one of, if not my most used bag, especially during the winter time. If I'm not wearing the Suzan Claude bag in the burgundy, I'm probably wearing the classic Milo in this glossy burgundy shade. It is a great size. I love that it is a shoulder bag predominantly, but you can have the longer length of the strap, which I actually have on at the moment, and you can wear it crossbody, and unlike the curated bag, it's super easy to switch between the shoulder length and the crossbody length when you're out and about, which I love. So if you suddenly need to become hands-free, it's really easy to do so. I really love the clasp. I prefer it to the curated one as well. I think it's a little bit prettier. I like the tone of gold. I like how shiny it is. Yes, it does get a little bit scratched, but to be honest, so does the curated one. So I don't think it's because it's more shiny. I think just a big metal clasp like this is going to get a little bit of wear. In terms of the actual bag though, even though it is a smooth leather bag, I think because it is this glossy texture rather than the heritage texture, it actually hides scratches and prevents scratches a little bit more than the smooth leather from Suzan. So if you don't like the idea of getting a lot of scratches, I would consider the glossy texture, because yes, I do have a couple of very minor scratches on this bag, but you actually, if you look at in the camera, I don't think you can really see them because it does reflect the light and it is quite glossy and shiny. You can't really see the scratches unless you're looking, you know, right up close to the bag. I love the way it opens, the fact that you press this down. Again, you don't have to get your nails anywhere near the bag to open it. You open the bag, and then it does have my things in it at the moment because I am using this bag. It is definitely my most worn bag this winter, and I do think it will be more of a winter bag for me because of the colour, but I can definitely still see myself wearing this in the summer because I love it so much. I also love that the branding is under the flap. I think that's really nice and subtle. I like that it's in gold, so it matches with the clasp, but you can't see it unless you open the bag. So it is, again, a very much if you know you know kind of bag. I know a lot of you have bought this bag on my recommendation. I hope you love it as much as I do. I do love it, and I can see this bag being in my collection for so many years to come. Next up, we have surprisingly the only black bag in my collection currently. This is my laptop bag, my work bag, my do-it-all tote bag. This is the one I have. This is from Ted Baker. It's in this pebbled leather, making it super durable, which I really love for a bag like this that does get thrown about quite a lot. It gets a lot of stuff put in it. It gets dumped on floors, on chairs, things like that when I'm at cafes and places to work. So I really appreciate how durable this is. I've had this for over 5 years now. I've worn it loads in that time, and it has no signs of wear, no scratches that I can see on it. The only place where it's got very minor wear is these two gold details here, but the leather itself is in pristine condition. Even the logo, which is printed right at the bottom, you might be able to just see there, it's still completely intact. It's not faded or worn off. So I really do value the quality of this bag, especially for the price point. I think these are around £200. They won't have this exact one in anymore, but they will probably have a very similar style, so I'll try and link it down below. But yes, this is the bag I use if I ever need to carry my laptop. I don't have another bag that really serves that same purpose. Technically, my Levo basket bag does fit a laptop, but it's completely exposed. And my Seline Leandra bag, again, you can squish a laptop in there, but because of that slouchy hobo bag style, you don't really want to because it kind of distorts the hobo shape of the bag, the slouchy shape. So I do avoid using that bag if I have my laptop with me. So this is the bag that I will always reach for if I have my laptop with me, and I do quite like that it's black because I just know in whatever scenario I need to bring my laptop, this is going to work with that outfit. Last but certainly not least is my little event bag, my wedding bag, my go-to bag if I want something a little bit more embellished and fun. This is a bag that I bought last year. I bought this from Oliver Bonus of all places. Purely because I wanted a pearl embellished bag, but I didn't want to spend a fortune on one. It's not something that I'm going to reach for other than basically to wear to weddings, which is what, maybe once, twice a year at most. So I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money on a bag like that. I found this, I think it was about £40 from recollection, so not too expensive, and it's held up really well. I've worn it to a couple of weddings last year, and I'll probably wear it again this year. Don't actually know if I've got any weddings this year, but if I do, I will wear this. It's got silver beads, it's got pearls all on it, it's got this little dangly tassel, and I really like the size of this for events as well because it does, again, fit my phone really comfortably in it. That's kind of something that I've realised is a deal breaker for me when it comes to event bags. So many event bags and little bags like this do not fit a phone in them, and again, I know your phone is in your hand a lot at weddings, but sometimes you're not allowed to have your phone out during the ceremony if they're taking pictures. Sometimes if you've got a drink in your hand, you don't also want to have your phone in your hand hand, so I really value that my bag fits my phone in it, and this does comfortably, but it's still small enough to be like a clutch bag. You can tuck the strap in if you want to, and you can just wear it as a clutch, which I do often do, or you can even double up the strap. How do you do that? Something like that, you know what I mean, where you double it up and you put this bit in the bag, and then you can wear it as a little shoulder bag like this, and that's actually really nice if you want something that's hands-free. So yes, it's really nice. It's a great purchase. I only need one bag like this in my collection really, and this is the one for me. And that is it. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Maybe you got some inspiration of some bags you could add to your wish list, some bags you could try and find pre-loved or buy new if you're really excited about them. Do give this video a like if you did enjoy it. I will also put some other videos on screen that you might enjoy too. Otherwise, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!